how to create an e-commerce store using WooCommerce on WordPress. In these tutorials, we're learning how to set up things properly. Now we've installed WooCommerce. Our dashboard has a menu option for WooCommerce and also products. Furthermore, WooCommerce has gone ahead and created the required pages such as our cart, checkout page, my account page, shop page, and so on. At this moment, it could be the case that somehow you installed WooCommerce and you're not seeing these default pages. If that happens, here's what you can do. Go to status and press on status link for WooCommerce. Then press on tools. And here you can generate pages, create pages, as we can see. So you can press on create pages. Okay, you can also here update database and all that stuff, right? At this moment, you don't want to touch that. All you need to do is do these precautions first. Even if it's a test site, let's go and see these. Shop page should be intact. Now, using Yoast plugin, we can press on Edit Snippet, select Advanced tab, and select No. Follow links, yes. That's for cart. Our checkout page should be the same. Should search engines index that checkout page? No, because it's going to be dynamic for each customer that visits you. Google shouldn't have my account page, checkout page, or cart page in its index. So using Yoast, you can quickly fix that up, even if your site is in test mode still. Okay, these are precautions to do before you go live. Now let's imagine this scenario. Let's go to our shop page to see what's there. For rankia.com, there is no product because we didn't add any. So let's go and see how we can understand WooCommerce a little bit better. On our settings page, in the previous video session, we've provided some details, correct? So we can change any of that here using our WooCommerce plugin. On the General tab, we've got our store address, general options, such as you may select specific countries to sell to. That will depend on your business model. Shipping locations, you may ship to certain countries and perhaps you do not ship to other countries. You can select that option, okay? Default customer location, you leave that to geolocate. In fact, most things here you want to leave at default, apart from address and so on, okay? Because that's why WooCommerce is so popular. It allows you to set things up quickly and easily without making many adjustments. But nonetheless, your e-commerce store has many features right now. So you want to be able to at least understand where to make certain changes. Currency position, left, right, that's all straightforward. You can read through these anytime you want to learn more. Hover over that question mark icon to quickly see what that does. Let's go and press on Products tab to see what's there. Here we've got General, Shop page we can always change, and we know WooCommerce has created that automatically. And we also know if it hasn't, then we can go to Status and make changes accordingly. Placeholder image, just imagine you forgot to provide an image for your product. Then that's the placeholder image, okay? Measurements, depending on what you're selling, surely you select things accordingly. In Australia, we use kilograms and centimeters as our measurement calculations, because you could be sending out large packages If that's the case, you want to be able to know what's going on there for your products, okay? Here it says enable reviews. Product reviews may be of good to enable. In this example, I don't want to enable it for time being, okay? Enable star rating on reviews. In fact, just leave things at default. Let's leave it at default. These are general settings for product. Then we have inventory. Inventory is all about your inventory. Straightforward process. Notification recipient is the email address you're getting for notifications. Low stock threshold could be up to you. You may think, okay, you know what? I'm selling lots of products and I want to be reminded when the stock hits 5 items. Out of stock threshold, obviously, you can select things there as well, okay? Visibility, you can say, I want to showcase products that's out of stock, or I want to hide them, so you have that option. Stock display format, you can select one accordingly, okay? Now, that's to do with our inventory, but what if we're selling downloadable products like Rankia? I have tutorials, as in I've got a SEO course that shows you how to get results in a Google mobile first index world. That's an instant access downloadable product. So then I can say downloadable products, I can force downloads. That means when a valued customer purchases the course, they will get a link for them to download, so to speak, okay? So that's for downloadable products, and for Rankia, that's what it is all about. But if you're sending out, let's say, t-shirts, then surely they are not downloadable products. In my examples, downloads require login? No, it's an instant access. My valued customers, they don't need to create an account on Rankia website. Grant access to downloadable products after payment? Yes, for my example, that's what I want to select. But remember, this setup is for downloadable digital products anyway. That doesn't mean you can't use WooCommerce to send out physical goods. Okay? So even if you select this option and leave things at default, don't worry. Because when you create your product, you can set things there as well. Now, shipping zones is absolutely important for physical product shipments. So therefore, you can add shipping zone. What that means is you're saying, okay, you know what? Let's say you're living in, I don't know, US, and your zone is Northern America or South America and so on. Or you're just operating within the state of Texas or whatever. Then you can create different shipping zones, saying, okay, the way that you're shipping your products and the way you're charging for those shippings could be managed here. So you can say ABC zone, or let's say local, city, or territory, and so on, or nationwide. Let's say locally, let's say local. Let's create a zone and name it. Zone regions, here you can say, in my example, Victoria, Australia. So that's the state of Victoria. As far as I'm concerned, that's locally. I can save changes. Now I've created a zone. I can say add shipping method. Here I can say for Victoria, it's flat rate shipping for my t-shirts as an example. Let me add that shipping method. Makes sense? So when we create the products, when a customer comes to purchase it, if we're sending out physical products, we may charge different shipping rates. So that's what shipping zones and shipping methods are all about. You can create many different ones. You can add a shipping method and say, okay, that's, let's say, okay, we've got shipping options. Let's take a look at that. Shipping classes. It's all to do with shipping. Add shipping class. You can give it a name, slug, and so on. Let's leave that. Let's go to shipping zones because I want to add a different one. Add shipping zone, another one. because it's important. Okay, let's say it's national. Let's say Australia. Now that's nationwide, Australia. Makes sense? Or we can select postcodes and so on. So it's straightforward process, right? Shipping zones is basically saying, okay, what is the method of shipping for your products that you're sending out, okay? Now let's go back to shipping zones because I want to delete them. I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's delete one. Let's delete another one, knowing that we can always add different ones. Shipping options. Here you can further set shipping options as in calculations. Enable the shipping calculator on the cart page. Absolutely this is important if you're sending things out, right? Or you can hide shipping costs until an address is entered. As in when your customers add the cart, go through the process of checkout, at that moment they provide their address details so you can send things out. You may hide the calculations for the shipping prices till that moment. So that's what that is about, and that is actually a very important part of any e-commerce site, okay? So let's go and press on payments. Okay, let's go and press on shipping because we haven't seen shipping classes. Here we can add a shipping class and say shipping class name. Okay, let's imagine t-shirts. So then I can say t-shirts. Description for t-shirts shipment. Let's add shipping class and then let's do this. Jackets. So let's imagine I'm selling t-shirts and jackets. Let's save that. So shipping classes, you can further group the way that you're shipping things. Jackets could perhaps be shipped differently than t-shirts. Okay, that's what shipping class is all about. Let's now press on payment settings. Here, we've enabled PayPal checkout and Stripe checkout. And we know where to grab the secret keys and publishable keys and so on. But for WooCommerce, we have many different options as we can see. Okay, so for this tutorial, we select these two. Now, if we select Stripe, then we enable Stripe. Credit card, pay with Stripe credit card. Here, it will give us endpoints. Yeah, you log into your Stripe account, provide your domain name, and grab this endpoint for your webhooks. At the moment, you need to enable test mode because you can't have an e-commerce site without testing things first. You can read through what's shown on the checkout page when someone presses on pay with Stripe. With PayPal, enable PayPal checkout, select sandbox, not live. So select sandbox so you can test things. Provide your merchant API details here. Here in this example, you can place anything. You can add PayPal hosted checkout settings. You can go through them. I'm not going to cover that. Payment action, sale, or it could be authorized. Leaving things at default is only smart. Instant payment, yes, require instant payment for digital downloads. Absolutely, that's important. Subtotal mismatch behavior. You may say, okay, you know what? Add another line item. Do not send line items to PayPal. You can hover over the question mark, read through what that is all about, okay? The way the colors are presented is all shown there. Checkout on cart page, enable PayPal checkout as a payment option. It's only smart. It's going to increase your sales. Definitely have PayPal because many people use PayPal and it's actually secure as well. But furthermore, do make sure to also provide credit card payments as well because that is the smartest way for you to get more sales. checkout on single product, you may enable, disable things here as well, okay? So let's leave things there. That's to do with payments. Accounts and privacy. You can enable customers to check out as guests without creating an account on your site, or you may select different options here. It's only smart to allow customers to place orders without creating an account, because your main aim at the end of the day for your WooCommerce store is to make the payment process as easy as possible and with minimum interaction as possible. That means if people can check out as guests without, logging into your account, logging into your website, that's only smart, because you're reducing interactions. And ideally, the easier the interaction your customers have when buying things from your site is going to be better for your conversions. So you can go through this privacy policy and returns policy and so on is as important as your product pages. That means create easy to understand privacy policy, also terms and conditions for purchasing things from your website. If people need to register, then provide details as to what information you're grabbing from them. In fact, to be able to use most Google products, such as Google Ads, Analytics, Google Search Console, and so on, you're collecting data. So thus, that's very important. It's important for your customers to know what it is that you're collecting from them. Check out privacy policy. Here, we're using a shortcode that's coming from our privacy policy page. If you haven't got one already, you just create a new page, call it your privacy policy, and detail what it is that you're collecting from your customers. Personal data retention, that's very important. You definitely need to read through it. That means, how long are you keeping your customers' data? Surely, when you use PayPal, when you use Stripe, you actually do not see your customers' sensitive financial details. That's handled through PayPal. That's handled through Stripe. But perhaps you want to inform that to your customers because maybe they don't know. And maybe they're thinking that if they buy something from you, you end up seeing their credit card details. And would you like to just share your credit card details because you're buying a t-shirt or an SEO course? Of course you wouldn't. Same is true for your customers. That's why you want to highlight what you're collecting and what you're not collecting. And if you're collecting their name, as in they create account on your site, how long are you going to keep that information on your site? And you can set all those details here. Okay? Settings there. Let's press on emails to see what that is all about. Emails, where do you want to receive emails? Let's say when someone makes an order. If someone cancels an order, what email address? That information is important. You can press on manage to change and update things. When an order is completed, who gets the email? Customers get an email saying, you know what? Your order is completed successfully. Let's press on manage. Here, you can say, thanks for shopping with us. Well, if you treat your customers as such, with information like that, that means we're definitely not going to grow our business, right? So what you want to do is perhaps write something short, because everyone's pressed for time. If someone purchased something from you, then they don't want to get confirmation saying, about your business story, so to speak. But surely, thanks for shopping with us, that's the default. You want to change that. Okay? So email tab is all about that. As in, who gets the email when something happens on your site? And what do they see? What message do you send to them? In this example, when the order is completed, thanks for shopping with us is not good. perhaps we thank you for making a purchase. We value your interaction with us, and so on. Makes sense? Like anything there, I can't from the top of my head say what it is that you're going to write, because you may be creating an e-commerce store for many different things. Okay, so it will depend on your products and what you're offering, but nonetheless, don't just leave things at default here. Change it, especially when you're interacting, as in sending things to your customers. Let's press on Advanced tab to see what is there. Here, this is our page setup. Cart page is that, we can change it. Perhaps you may say, you know what, the default cart page, let's say you're not happy with it. If that's the case, you can go to Edit, make changes here. This WooCommerce cart shortcode is what shows up here, okay, as we create products. So, page setup is all about that. Check out endpoints. Leave things at default here, because it's not smart to tweak things here unless you know exactly what it is that you're doing. Okay, because these become part of your URLs. REST API, let's press on that. You can create an API, you can read through the help section. I'm not going to cover that. Basically, REST API is allowing different external services to communicate with your site. That's what REST API is all about. Webhooks, once again, webhooks, you can create a webhook, let's say for your Stripe payment. Remember, for payments, but we don't need to create one here. We create that through Stripe. But nonetheless, these options are available, including all REST APIs as well, legacy API. You can enable that if you want, or you can press on WooCommerce.com, allow usage. We've selected no at the settings, but you can enable tracking if you want, helping the WooCommerce community and developers to gain additional data. You can read through what they collect and so on. Marketplace suggestions, that's all to do with WooCommerce.com. Do you need these? Not necessarily, but it doesn't hurt to have them. Then let's press on orders. I want to cover these as we move forward. Orders is when someone purchases something, that's an order, right? They complete an order. You don't want to add orders here because your customers do that. But nonetheless, you may think, okay, you know what? I've got a valued customer who provided details offline. Now I'm creating an order, sending it to them. That's what that order is all about. Coupons, you can create perhaps discounted coupons and so on, which will definitely be of help. Perhaps, you know what, 25% discount when you sign up to our newsletter and so on. Then we've got reports. Reports will be all to do with customers making payments, and reports quickly and easily show you that. You can always export CSV as a Microsoft format to analyze things on your local computer. Status is all about the way WooCommerce interacts with your website, saying to you what version, where is the directory path, memory limit, language, that's important, PHP version, always trying to have the latest stable version of PHP. And here, as we can see, we have our theme having a template file called content-product.php version 3.4 is out of date. The core version now is this. I'll show you what that is all about quickly and easily. Let's press on Appearance, press on Theme Editor. Here we have the parent theme has a template file. So this parent theme has a file within this folder, WooCommerce folder. There is WooCommerce folder content product.php. Here my theme has an outdated version, which is this one here. That means in this example, I'll show you how to do that right now. If you ever want to update outdated files, you simply download the correct template file, the correct version, and that is located through your web hosting file manager public_HTML wp-content plugins folder. And here we have WooCommerce plugin. In there we've got template files, which is within templates folder. In there is content-product.php. Let me download that locally to my desktop to show you. This is the file that is outdated. As we can see, the plugin has the correct version. At this moment, I can select everything. Now, remember, you never modify things from the dashboard. For this tutorial, I'm just showing you what this is all about. So what I've done is I've grabbed everything from WooCommerce plugin folder because I want to update things. But this is not the correct way to do it. You need to do things from your web hosting account. So let me update file to show you what happens to this templates override. I've done this because I have made no changes for my theme or my child theme. But if you're using custom theme that is using custom templates and so on, you want to do things a little bit different. That means you don't follow this option or else your site won't work. Now, as I've made the update to correct version, now status is not showing me any errors saying outdated version. So that's how quickly we can fix that if everything is default on your setup, because at this moment it will be. Extensions is extensions. It's different things you may perhaps want to check out. You know what? Membership, $149, you can get an extension to be hooked into your WooCommerce plugin. So thus you can offer perhaps memberships. But remember, these are not the only ways for you to extend your WordPress. There are many plugins for membership as well. I tend to use Paid Membership Pro for membership. So if I want to add membership option on my website, I would perhaps not select the extension memberships here. But having said that, perhaps product add-ons or product search, all these can extend the functionality of your e-commerce store using WooCommerce. It will much depend on what it is that you're selling and the type of online business and website that you will have and grow. Okay, but nonetheless, WooCommerce does provide some free extensions or also some paid extensions that you may want to check out as you grow your WooCommerce site. Now, in this video session, I have shown to you briefly and perhaps good enough knowledge for you to now move on to the next stage to create your products. And I'll show you how that's meant to be done as well. Once again, unlike other tutorials that you will find, Rankia shares with you proven knowledge that when you follow, you do things properly, skillfully, but also you'll get better results. And I'll show you how to create products properly in the next video session. I thank you very much for learning with me, and I'll talk with you in the next video session.